MAGA is upset because reporter for 60 Minutes, Scott Pelley, he was giving this commencement address, and he referred to basically what's going on in our government, what Donald Trump is doing, and he exercises free speech, and nothing gets MAGA more riled up against you than doing that right now. So take a look at what Pelley had to say.
Our sacred rule of law is under attack. Journalism is under attack. Universities are under attack. Freedom of speech is under attack. And insidious fear is reaching through our schools, our businesses, our homes, and into our private thoughts. The fear to speak in America. Power can rewrite history with grotesque, false narratives. They can make criminals heroes and heroes criminals. Power can change the definition of the words we use to describe reality. Diversity is now described as illegal. Equity is to be shunned. Inclusion is a dirty word. This is an old playbook, my friends. There's nothing new in this.
Yeah, 100% right. I mean, the ideology of fascism, takes different forms or whatever, but the basic concept's pretty much the same. The strategy used to get people on board, the myth making, the witch hunts and all of that. We've seen all of this. And take a look at how MAGA characterized what you just saw, which I think was accurate, reasonable, measured. Scott Adams says, liberals who once controlled speech and the power to censor, I'm gonna need to see some citations on that, are now upset that a majority of Americans now reject their lies and deception. 60 Minutes Scott Pelley raged at Trump in an angry, unhinged commencement address. What was angry or unhinged about that? Like literally, you can't read emotions coming off of people. There was nothing angry about that. I mean, he doesn't like what's happening, but there was no emotion. It was a logical, level-headed assessment of the dark place we're in. That's it. It wasn't unhinged. It was hinged. He was 100% hinged there. You seem a little bit emotional, Scott Adams, and it goes on from there. I'm not gonna read the other responses or whatever. But he's totally right. He's using his free speech, which again, they pretend to like, but never are actually satisfied when people actually do that. And he's right, like Trump is still going after Harvard. This morning says the government is cutting all contracts with Harvard. Now, there's disagreement about why he's focusing so much on Harvard. Some people think he's just doing the bidding of like Benjamin Netanyahu or whatever. He's angry that there was a protest against the genocide of the Palestinians or whatever. Some people are saying it's because Barron was rejected from Harvard, which seems absurd, but I mean, can anybody honestly say that would not inspire Donald Trump to do what he's doing? I don't know. But NPR is now having to sue Trump after he pulled all the funding going to that network because I don't know, because of trans people, I don't know, but I know that there are so many organizations that Donald Trump, in an unhinged and angry way, as his brain decays in his skull, is destroying and shredding, and yes, making people afraid to speak out. I mean, look at it goes all the way from like NPR and 60 Minutes down to like Hassan being questioned at an airport for criticizing Trump or whatever. This is the environment they always pretended the left was creating, when all it was like, oh, somebody was really mean to O'Reilly for his monologue or something. That's not a cancel culture. That's speech. This is a cancel culture. This is organizations being destroyed. This is the law being abused. This is judges being threatened. Okay, when he invokes these other historic examples, Germany in the 30s, whatever, like, are we exactly there yet? No, but this is how you get there. This is, and it's not just Trump doing it. It's that nobody is standing up to him. They're all bowing down, not just his party. We're used to that. That anybody who had any backbone or whatever in the Republican Party has been gone for years at this point. But most of those in media, most of those in other levels of politics are bowing down, and not just in the Republican Party. And so the fact that they're mad at Scott Pelley for just diagnosing how fundamentally sick our country is a joke. Yaz, what do you think?
I think, again, we're seeing MAGA denounce not just the things that Pelley is saying, but they're also attempting to discredit his entire legacy. And they're extrapolating that, saying, not just him as a journalist, but all of journalism needs to be discredited. And they act as if, these blue chicks on not blue chicks, blue checks, all the blue check people on X, they're supposed to be now, I guess, our true thought leaders and the true intellectuals of our time, not the people who are actually well educated and well studied on certain things and able to communicate those ideas that they know to be true, And the thing with Scott Pelley, the things that they're saying is some criticism that the left has often faced. They're saying that he comes off as pompous and self-important and almost like he's too educated for them, and that means that he should not be trusted. And that goes back to the way that Trump has been from day one, again, going back all the way to 2015, if not before, discrediting the media, which at the time, people said this is a problem or this is going to be a problem if it isn't already. The fact that he was saying things like the press is fake news, all these big media organizations are fake news, and the fact that it was so proliferant, the way that he was saying these things and the way people were just saying, oh yeah, he's right, none of it's real. That was a problem back then, but people really didn't understand how bad it could get or would get. Some of us saw it and some of us recognized it and some of us said it back then, but we were all said to be also pompous and also, self-important and overeducated and unrelatable to the average American person. But it goes back to the point I made in the last story. The people who still support Trump and the actions of this administration are either in denial about what's really happening, i.e. the emperor has no clothes, we are the Titanic, or they don't have the capacity to believe that our country is no better than other nations in history that have fallen to fascism, like they can't comprehend that idea. Or these people are just wildly uneducated. They haven't read the history books. They haven't thought about anything for themselves probably in years because they just go on social media and they let other people, other influencers tell them how to think and how to feel about any given thing that's happening in the world and in the media. And they don't even understand how to interpret the things that they're seeing on their own, right? It's almost like we've lost the ability to think for ourselves with the proliferation of social media. I know that was a thing from before, but even now it's hard to sometimes get outside of these echo chambers that we find ourselves in. And the talking point about how liberals want to censor free speech is so dumb and so tired. Liberals have never advocated for people to be harassed because of their free speech. They've never advocated for people to lose their jobs because of their free speech. If anything, we've said it sucks that they have a right to say the things that they're saying, but they do have a right to say the things that they're saying. And if anything, we just try to manage the way that people understand the things that these people are saying. Whether or not we've done a good job of that, we still ended up where we are today. And maybe if they had listened to certain people 10 years ago, we wouldn't be here. But the fact remains that the left has never, as far as I know, collectively at least, we have never advocated for people to be stripped of their rights to free speech the way that we're seeing from the right now.
Yeah, and I will remind everyone very briefly, your First Amendment rights are violated when the government restricts your ability to express yourself. A person tweeting that you're a racist is not a violation of your First Amendment rights. Donald Trump crushing media organizations is. And the fact that they expended all of their radical support for free speech on the person calling O'Reilly a racist or whatever and have nothing to say about this tells you everything you need to know.